All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming back. It's always good to see you guys. I look forward to these Thursday evening live streams with the shower door professionals.
Heck yeah.
Where else are you going to go and meet up with a bunch of shower door pros? I don't know. I don't think there's much competition out there for it.
Donuts in the morning. Follow them.
Donuts in the morning. That's right. Two rules, man. Come early, bring donuts.
Hey, so yeah, there's a donut shop here nearby. I used to go, every Friday to pick some up. Bunch of old guys that used to get together and just hang
Oh,
out.
guys.
Yeah. Older like
So you
Tim. They
go
look
too?
like they look like more like Tim.
You go too, huh?
No.
Yeah.
But one of them was an old glazer. He was old school though, man. You can tell his hands are all like crippled and such
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he's been around the season. So every time I see him, we talk a little bit. He goes, "How's it doing?" and stuff. So I'm like, ah. But the other guys are they're just some. I don't know what the other guys do, but yeah.
So
So he used to work with my dad. My dad started when my dad started in the business. He was one of my dad's mentors. So I haven't seen him probably in long time. I stopped eating those donuts. Kind of cut back on the sugar. So
yeah, so
yeah.
I'll date myself. So last week I was out in Pebble Beach measuring a windbreak, and next door this house I did was all disqueened over. It's a very famous house. It was designed by Mark Mills. It's called the Fan Shell House. Well, I did that 54 years ago, and they're in there tearing the place up. Somebody bought it, they're remodeling it. I went and talked
54
to the,
years ago. So, what, are you back there again?
huh?
Are you back there again?
Yeah.
So, you're back to the same place you did 54
I
years
went
ago?
I went in there and introduced I talked to the guy running the job. I worked on this house when it was first done.
Oh wow.
And so he called his boss. His boss came over and he was tickled to death you know, that I came and talked to him. So he gave me a set of plans to figure there's no shower door, but it's a lot of what they call satin mirror that comes from Pulse
That
Studios.
here.
But
That stuff always made me go,
but it's quite an interesting house.
I'll bet.
And all the glass I did is gone
Oh,
because
Oh,
it was
yeah. It's probably been remodeled 4 times or
no,
whatever.
no, no, it's never been remodeled.
Really?
Yeah.
never.
And they had concrete ceilings. So it was like 5 bays of concrete like this, and all the glass was hung from the concrete on T-bars, steel T-bars,
Uh huh.
and it was a reglet in the concrete that we had to cut the glass into, and then the steel was tied back to a parapet wall. And over the years, the concrete settled, so they had to cut all the glass loose from the parapet wall so it wouldn't break. And I've been back there a few times to change them, but this time they tore it all out. And they got some new fancy system that they put in. And guy bought it for $9 million,
9 million.
and the guy's been working on it for 3 years.
Wow.
And then when they poured the concrete roof, they used 3/8 plywood to do the shape, but they didn't put enough bracing underneath it. So when they poured the concrete, it all went like this. So
Wow. Crazy, man. So, is that like down on the golf course or?
it's on 17 Mile Drive.
Okay, 17-mile drive. Yeah.
It's called the Fan Shell House,
Famous house.
and uh, and the architect he studied under Frank Lloyd Wright,
Right.
and then when he died, he donated all his plans to Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo. So the contractor was able to call Cal Poly and get the original set of plans for the house. So,
That's the one in the comments, right? That one right
huh?
there. That's the glass you put in, the arch.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, wow.
There's like 5 bays of windows, and it's all 1/4 inch bronze plate. And we went out back with my dad. We went out there and we cut everything on the job. We load the plates on the truck, cut them to width, and then we made brackets to hang on the steel. We set the glass up there, and my dad would just start cutting it to match the arch.
Just cut it
And
right
then
in
everything
place.
is, we cut it all in place.
Wow.
And then it's all glued in. There's no stops on that thing. And so the engineer that did the job, he died, but his son is an engineer and he's the engineer on the job now. And he did a calculation on the glass that was there and he said it was just fine, for being on the coast. But now they're going to put some stainless steel system in, and the concrete roof's going to, they say it's going to deflect a half inch, so they're leaving room for everything. So quite an interesting house.
Yeah, I guess so, man.
Yeah.
Built to last, huh?
Huh?
Built to last.
Well, yeah. And so her name was O'Brien, and her son was a baseball player. He played for the Texas Rangers back in the 70s and 80s, I think.
I got a bee in my room.
B?
Yeah.
Oh, I can hear it.
Yeah, can you hear him? He's
Yeah.
cruising. Can you see him?
I heard the buzzing. I don't see him, but I see you looking at him. But I hear the buzz.
I
That's hilarious.
know, man. Chilling.
What were you talking about, Ryan? Or what were you thinking of? AI or other question based?
So Craig asked me to get in touch with you because we launched our new website this week,
Hmm.
and something about the form submissions and the way it connects with our integrate. He said, call you, have someone or April in our office call you or talk to you about the way the form submissions working, integrating, because right now it's just coming in through an email, but
Hmm.
they have some jobber forms that they're trying to use. And do you have some sort of module to make this work with that? And smarter people than me know this stuff, and you're asking me, and I don't know. So he
Yeah,
said talk to you.
absolutely. We'll figure it out. Yes, and yes, we can do the jobber modules, which I've been in the middle of a lot. And now with the new, like Chris said, keeping up with everything new, all the AI updates that all the platforms themselves are rolling out just make it so much easier to have the idea of these, present these problems, and then come
Yeah.
up with the solution in a much shorter time frame. If as long as you know like how it should work, you can get so much work done for you now. So uh, I think we can come up with even way better jobber solutions than what we have now. But yeah, we have like about two or three layers of third-party apps
Okay.
that we use to connect the dots, update this when that happens. It's always, at the end of the day, no matter what apps you're using, it's always about when I check one place, can I see everything that's going on in the other place? Or will someone come here and see outdated information and give bad information to whoever they're talking to, the customer, the employees, or anyone else, if you don't have the latest conversation? So, like, figuring out how we can use whatever apps we have and have control over with whatever apps they're using in the beginning or the end of the process to connect those dots. It's like, if I'm looking at this card, where can I see everything at? Before it was like I had to build multiple layers of integrations to say,
Right.
all right, what do? You get an email for this. Let me build a way to update the card over here. So no matter which place you're looking, you see the same information updated. 32 steps needed to be created and like a little cost to maintain. Now with AI, we have the ability to just do the same thing, but tell the agent to do it. And so it's so much easier to scale. Just like you can do the shower, you can monitor a few people doing a shower, but once you have 30 people you can deploy that you know can do the shower, your goal is only to sell enough showers because you got the systemization and the 100% completion rate figured out through all that back and forth. So now we're at the rate with agents that's like, ooh, everything's kind of easier and more possible when it comes to making business owners' lives easier. Can I do this? Can I make this easier? Can I connect this in this way? Even if these apps themselves are outdated, Back in the day, the answer was no, sorry, the way it's built, we can't connect. Now these AIs are able to, well, if we set up the right processes, it can take over the computer, log in for you as if it was you, and then go and do the actions that you would do in that third party app, even though
Right.
it's outdated. Same way you would tell an assistant, it can act like a person that's right next to you and take over those button actions and all those things hours at a time without needing you to give it permissions and keep telling it to keep going. And that is where we're at right now, testing that. I got a few extra Mac devices I've bought and brought back to life because it's exciting.
There you go. Okay. So that's where we at. We launched yesterday. We had our kickoff yesterday, and this is just kind of the one quick bottleneck we found was we went back to the old, you have a form submission email, and then there's their little, even when they phone and they hang up or something, it automates right to a text by default, which is now back to a form submission email. So we're back to this old archaic, you have a form submission email where we already had this platform with, we had a platform in place. So we just want to get from point A to point B.
Yeah, makes sense. We could schedule a call. I put the link in the chat and then we can walk over what your system's doing and then
Yeah.
adjust everything so it's working right.
I clicked on, I just gonna look at the schedule. We're at the home show locally tomorrow and this weekend. So I gotta figure out when we're tearing down and back to some sort of normalcy. And then when I've got people available, we'll book a call.
Congrats.
Done.
Nice home show. You got the whole team there? You got a display? What do you got? You got like
Yeah,
a
we did a
monitor
10 by
showing your
20
work?
booth this year. So the
Mm.
same we did last year, but I had a millware company build me a wine cellar this year.
Wow.
So it's just like 40 pegs in the wall and this beautiful veneered thing. And then we did 1/2 inch tempered doors on hydraulic patch fittings. So, which now it can totally be disassembled and walked out the door.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, do you have a way to track? Do you track your leads from this?
We have a QR code that they scan.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Well, I'll see if I can upload a picture. I took a picture when we finished. So,
It's amazing to hear how
over the
many people
weekend,
have marketing efforts and no tracking in place.
oh, I know.
Where's the show at?
Our local auditorium, so just the city next door in Kitchener. So it's
Cool.
fairly large. There, I just threw it in the comments.
Nice.
Yeah, we bought our own backdrop this year, so we're not renting it anymore. And
I will share it. Can you see it?
Oh, dang. That's nice.
Very,
Wow.
very nice.
I like that.
That is nice, isn't it?
You're gonna put it in your showroom, or you're just gonna keep it like ready to travel?
just it's gonna go into storage. Our showroom's just not big enough to hold all that stuff. That's the problem.
Send it my way. I'll put it in my showroom.
Okay.
All right. Store it for you, right?
Yeah.
Store it in my showroom.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Looks like the wine cellars from Olive Garden.
Yeah, there you go. See, if I could land some commercial stuff with that and do more, commercial restaurants and things like that with that thing rather than residential, I'm all for that too. So
Yeah. The big commercial builders around here, they're already stuck with their commercial guys. I try to get into it. I'm in with their home side, so I do all their, home residential stuff, but the commercial I'm trying to get in there and I can't.
takes
So
time.
I could do stuff like that, but yeah, like you said, it does take time. So yeah. I missed my home show, man. It was last week. We missed it.
Yeah.
We couldn't do it. We couldn't let anybody go because we're trying to pick up now. So yeah, it's all right. Next year.
I'm hoping we pick up because of this. So last year we we carried a lot of leads throughout the whole year because of this show. So
Dude, we bought these pages where people came, these book and they signed and stuff like that. So we had people like 3 pages and it paid off. I mean, it's paid. I mean, it was worth it. I mean, my brother got more jobs out of it than I did. You
oh
know,
yeah.
so he got the windows and stuff. So most
Yeah.
people, that's what people go for is the windows. So
Yes, I like them better than you.
I don't care. I don't care. I'm better looking.
I think you got it, Tim. That was it. Now I say have some good nurturing, Ryan. Like that's one thing as good of ideas as we had over time. We always, no matter what we did, we always thought of things we could have done way better after it was done. And some of the things like I think of over time is like the nurturing sequence that goes out to them after knowing they came into the home show. It's like, okay, can I have like 12 months, one newsletter a month that goes out specifically to them that starts with thank you for the home show, thank you for your interest, like collecting those emails and collecting that list. Because I know a old marketing term is like the money is in the list.
Yeah.
It's a digital phrase of email stuff, but really it's just about your customer list. That's the one thing no one can take. And that's why some people can survive forever on referrals with no digital spend whatsoever. And it's the last thing they do sometimes when the referral network just dries up. But your list is so valuable. And so many of us don't, so many businesses I've had or helped or was a part of or seen have this gold mine of list of emails of people that you haven't emailed again, and the cheapest marketing you have is emails and text. Emails are easier to send without getting flagged and stuff. So having small campaigns that go out to these people automatically, and the cost of them is so insignificant that one shower sale, one successful email conversion of, hey, we're still around. Hey, did you know we do this now? Hey, thanks for doing business with us 5 years ago. Did you know we also do this? Or because you're always getting new product lines or wanting to highlight the new slider that you got from a certain company or something.
Yeah.
And the 500 customers, the 5,000 that you've done business with might potentially be someone that liked you and was willing to reuse you. They just didn't like have your number, think of you, or clicked a different ad before thinking of you. And like that email nurture sequence is something that can be paid for. One shower sale pays for the entire year of thousands of emails.
That's it. We're just mining data while we're there. And it's
It,
just how to nurture it. And the biggest thing we find now is it's you got to beat all the filters, right? Because how quickly do you end up in a spam filter? If it looks like a newsletter, it's like guaranteed to hit a spam filter somewhere or some sort of quarantine or some sort of junk mail. Because you can't email too often or it automatically gets hit. So it's what's the right ratio? And if you use like a MailChimp or one of these other services, they're almost automatically flagged as spam or junk. So it's just finding that right ratio, the right mix to make this gold worthwhile, right? That's what I haven't quite figured out yet, how to trigger it to make it
oh,
work.
you're there. That's beautiful. I took a lot of classes on it before. I'm no by no means an expert on it now, but I know and listen to a lot of the experts, and there's some techniques we're doing for people right now, but essentially it's warming up a domain. When you sign up for any of these services, you're tied to their sending domain. Other people that send domains, they got a reputation. And when you send an email from their app, you're sharing the reputation of these other people. So, one thing that we do is set up email sending domains specifically for sending your emails. So your website.com is your company name. Then we'll buy like five other domains. That's like websitemail.com. Your glass company name mail, your glass company name notifications, your glass company name services.com. And from those emails, we set up info at Ryan at communication at, and we send our marketing emails from those. We handle all normal communication from your normal domain because most likely the customers you're already communicating with are not going to mark you spam, are doing all the right things to tell the email reputation monitors that you are not spamming people. But when you have these separate domains, you can do all the right things, and just in case you hit that spam filter, and all of the emails sent from this domain start going to spam, including your normal customer ones. The way that we've built this isolates it. That's You build these other sending domains, you do your work there, you figure out the right cadences, but in no way do you do it that in a way that jeopardizes your domain, or do you do it through these other apps that you sign up with that you can send the emails through them? Because at their basic core, they let you do that, but you're tied to their reputation. All of them let you upgrade in some way to have your own sending domain, have your own records, have your own multiple ways you send out. And that's the magic. And warming that up, you need 30 days at least for a new domain to send to a large list of people that open, communicate, add to your contacts, reply back to, act like real humans. And then the email say this person goes from 40% trusted to 80% trusted to 90. And that's what we do. A lot of strategies to on the back end before you ever use these emails. We do all this warm up to make the
Right.
domain the highest
Legitimate.
possible open
Yeah.
rate ratio, and then give it to you to use as the business owner, because usually you experience all this friction you're experiencing when you don't have someone to figure out what was the right way to do this. I
Yeah.
ended up in the wrong place.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the steps. You can do that solo. You give me a call on the side. We'll talk about that too. But for anyone listening, that's the ratio. Protect your domain. If you want to do marketing, set up a email domain, sending domain.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's a great idea. I've never heard that before. That makes perfect sense, you know? Set up a similar domain name and then send from that. And if it gets flagged somehow, it's like it's not your domain,
Mhm.
not your primary domain, uh, getting flagged. Simple. Simple but elegant. Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's all about like finding the right person, right? To the person who already knows all this stuff, you know, rather than, having to try to figure it out and navigate all that while you're like running a business. Um, you find someone like Rob here, who like already knows all this stuff, and just let him do it, man. He loves it.
Uh, I just hired my VA too. I know you hired someone, Chris, and it's working
Yeah.
out. My full-time person, the first one I've ever hired for myself and myself only, is working out great. It's a full-time job just keeping up with giving them stuff to do because of how fast they're getting it done. I thought like, okay, it'll take them a week to or a few days. I'll be able to catch up and really give them the right instructions and outline, but they're already finishing it. So it's a great problem to be in. Like any one of us would love to have workers that work out labor and retention and turnovers, a huge conversation all the time. But last week, the guy was talking about how successful the new guy was working out, the people he had on. So that was pretty cool. But for us, the VA, virtual assistants, any kind of assistance, it's been awesome. This person, these people, they know follow up glass well, they know that software well, the back end, so they're able to accomplish things and do things. And it's a lot easier when people know at least a basic level of what you need done.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan and I were just talking before we started streaming about that. How I just got an assistant. He's on his second week, right? And I'm having the same experience where he's just like, boom, just like getting it, and like my assignment for him for like the first week was like, just okay, your assignment is to learn. So it's like you're in charge of learning, you know. I'm here, I'm a resource, right? I'll teach you whatever you can ask me whatever you want. And I'll teach and I'll take incentive, to explain to you what's going on. But you're in charge of your education, all right? So at the end of the week we'll have a one-on-one, and then you can tell me how you're doing. So man, we got to the end of the week and it was like I was like, so how did you do? And he's like, oh, feel like I did pretty good. I was like, man, you did way better than that. It's like he's not only picking up what I'm laying down, but like taking the initiative, um, taking just the lead, but I'm setting him up for that, right? I'm setting an expectation of him owning his position, and not like, tell, tell, check, next, getting in that whole loop of like, okay, do this. All right, did you do it? All right, now do this, because that's like exhausting, but it's like, give an outcome that I expect, and then measure how he did that, and then coach, right? So it's like outcome, measure, coach. And then, how did you do? Did good. Here's, or oh, this is where I'm struggling. It's like, I didn't quite get this. It's like, okay, yeah, hey, look at it. Here's a different way of looking at it. Or here's, a story of how, I overcame that. And it's just a completely different result that you get when you expect a person to basically, whoever it is, to be a manager, not really treat them as an employee, but treat them as you're your own manager. It's awesome so far. Tomorrow's a new day. May all fall apart tomorrow, but today was a good day.
After 2 weeks, do you find he's doing anything different than you would do it? Or is he just not to that
Yes.
comfort level that he's changing the way you do things?
Yes. I mean, immediately. It's funny because, I sent him to do something. It didn't like, it's funny because there's so many things to learn, right? There's so many systems, so many, it's like, and so much like, just, nomenclature, like, I mean, it's like, this is what this is called, and this is what we call this, and this is, this process, and this looks like this, and if it looks slightly different, I mean, so you're just kind of giving them an overview. And then, so I realized after the first week, it's like, okay, there were some things that didn't get done quite, the way I wanted. Then I'm going to have to be, a little more specific on certain things. It's like, here's a detail, and let me show you why it's important that this is exactly right. But he did one thing different, and at first I didn't really like it, because it's not the way I did it, But then upon closer inspection, I'm like, well, yeah, what's wrong with this? In fact, it's like there's some advantages to his way. I mean, it may not be better than my way, but it's different. And I can see, like, this is good, right? In fact, why not just go with that if that's the way he wants to do it? Because I want him to take it over.
Yeah.
I don't want to come along and be like micromanage him and tell him, oh no, don't do it, like do it my way, because I'm the smartest guy in the room, right? And
If you're
no,
going to
man,
get the same result at the end, yeah.
yeah, if you're getting the same result, man, I mean, and I'm really good at like noticing how people do things, and then just kind of doing it like at home with my wife. It's like I pay attention to how my wife kind of does things around the house because that's her domain. And I'm like total chauvinist, man. I'm like, it's terrible. I do dishes, I do dishes. But apart from that, man, I'm like kind of the man of the house thing. I do like the masculine stuff, and she does the feminine stuff. It's weird, but but when it comes to like how she does things or where she puts things, I try to pay attention to that and then do it the same way, because it's just a good way to, it's just a good system, right? She's got that figured out. Then I don't have to figure out where stuff goes. I just figure out where she thinks stuff goes, even if I think it's stupid. Just like do it that way.
That's right.
And it's like, and I kind of expect people to do that with me, and they don't. Not everybody's got that skill, right? Not everybody's like really good at noticing that, But like you say, it's not a big deal as long as the end result is the same or pretty close. 80%, 90%, right? I mean, if it's like that, that's brilliant, man. I mean, like, yeah, keep doing that, because I know that a person's going to improve anyway over time. So if they're coming along and in the first couple of weeks they're doing it 80% as well as I think it should be, well, then a couple more weeks they'll probably be up to 90%. And then like in 6 months they'll probably be at 120% of how I did it. You know what I mean? Because they can focus on it and really like dial it in more than I ever could.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's the thing that you don't really see, and that's hard to grasp early on. Is that yeah, give it time, man. I mean, because like probably just about anybody could do what I do better than I do. If it's not like in my special ability, right? That I'm trying to like get into.
It's just interesting to have someone else just run with it and see how they
Yeah,
come up with their own way, right?
right. And none of it's like, I mean, we don't drive ambulances or anything. I mean, it's like, if we do something wrong, I mean, nobody dies or, nobody like, it's just like, we do something wrong, we have to do it again.
Yeah.
So, so it's like, it's pretty easy to be patient. But yeah, congratulations, Rob. That's awesome, dude. I mean, it's just like, I mean, I think everybody should have an assistant, man.
Yeah, all the books say the same thing. Like, when should you hire? Yesterday. Always be hiring. Why? Because you should always be growing. Does it mean you should always hire tomorrow? No, but that's the concept is if you are truly growing, if you are trying to 10x, you will need to hire at some point. So you should always be uh, adding to the reserves. Because if you wait, you'll never be ready. I could have hired someone a long time ago, but yeah, this person came in and did the same thing. I gave them a list of ideas of what I wanted to do, and they took it upon themselves to finish two of the things I asked and then go and brainstorm themselves, be proactive, go look at the way my system was set up. And they actually changed the way I had a lot of the tools. They gave me a reference of here's what I suggest, here's ways I've seen it done, here's how I think it matches what you're doing. And I was like, actually, that makes sense. And go do it. Sure, go do it. Yeah, absolutely. I thought that needed cleaning up too. The way I was gonna think about it, I thought, man, I'll get to that project when I can. But when you can vocalize in a decent enough way all the things you have going on as a business owner, some people might have these superpowers and see that problem and be like, oh man, I know exactly how to do that. I've done that hundreds of times over. I can take ownership of that. In fact, the way you have it set up, no wonder you're having problems. Here's some edits you can do, and here's some other apps you can use. And have you ever thought of this? I'm like, where have you been? This is perfect. Yeah. It's always, every time we've hired a VA before, I've understood the ones that didn't work out. It was more, I think, the management issue. Just like I think about every job that goes wrong in your process, it's always your fault. If it's always your fault, then you have some control over it, and then you can build some processes that can control it better. If they're not asking for reviews, you can blame them, but it's your fault. Your process doesn't force it, guarantee it, and allows them to not do it 10 days in a row with no consequences. So whose fault is it really if anything isn't going right in your business? It's build the gaps, build the bumpers that catch the ball all the way down. And if you force your bumpers to be built, they can't roll a strike. They'll always hit something. And a lot of people have no bumpers and just say they should know how to bowl. They've seen me do it once or twice. What the hell's wrong with them? People are stupid these days. But I get, well, just rely on that. You're going to be the best one. Build the bumper so they can't make a mistake. And the VAs like take power, or all your employees like totally do it. Give them like your full list of ideas and have them shared, because sometimes they'll take ownership. That's what I did in other people's companies. But you don't know about it. A lot of time you go to someone with one problem, or they come to you with one problem. I need a shower. And they do a shower. And then you find out someone else is doing their mirror and their wine cellar. You're like, how come you didn't tell me? I didn't know you did it. Wait, you should have known. We think they should know, but like it's that is real in all the ways. Educate, expose your full process to the people and your full problems to your own people now, and some of them might step up with like solutions that they just needed to know the problem because they already got it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny you bring that up about like like there being a problem and it being my fault. you know. Because like last week, I had Andy do something, and I didn't, there was a little detail. It was an important detail that I didn't think of to explain, and so this gasket in a machine got ripped. That's what all it is. Now, like this gasket is for a manway, and it's like $75 for a gasket. So I messed one up before, just getting to know how to run this machine. So he comes in, today is this Monday basically, and I took him over and I showed him. I was like, hey man, we messed something up. I took him and I showed it to him, and I explained to him, it's like, look, yeah, I didn't explain this to you. I'm pretty sure that he probably has never had the experience of his boss coming to him and telling him, we made a mistake here. You know what I mean? Like, but I truly like feel that way. I'm not just like being humble or whatever, or using psychology. It's like I told him, he's into sports, and I'm like, we're a team, man. We rise or we fall as a team. It's like you win or you lose. It's like you can look for someone to blame. If that makes you feel better, but that's not constructive. It's like we either all get it or we all don't. And so it was a really cool experience, man. I mean, he felt really bad. It's like, dude, don't. It's like I've done the same thing, and it's like. And hey, this is a good opportunity to show you, man. This is what the gasket looks like. This is how it goes in. It's funny, it comes like this, but like after you use it one time, the shape of it changes. And I got to really, go over all the intricacies of like a gasket, which is something that like I've been working with, vinyl gaskets for like my whole life. This guy probably has never worked with one, and it's just like, yeah, here's the properties of it. They come bigger. It's too big to fit. It's made that way on purpose. This is how it works. You have to compress it to get it in there. And it's like, it was a great experience, man. It was actually a bonding experience, right? It's like we got to, go through a trauma together. But man, I love that. I love what you're saying. I mean, and that's just something that like, for me is very intuitive.
I know it's like it's a process because some people are way farther. They already have SOPs and they're like, well, it's not my fault if, but most places like when a mistake would happen, my first question would be like, all right, if I'm listening to that stupid podcast I heard about it's always my fault. So how can I frame this that it's my fault? Even if I don't agree with it, whatever. I just read every year reading a different book and thinking that's the new answer, applying it. I've got to practice different things and then shape my view differently over time. But at that time, it was extreme ownership, Jocko Willings. Everything's my fault. So how can I change it? First question is, do I have an SOP? Second question is, if I don't, that's my fault. Second question is, if I do, are they trained on the SOP? If they haven't been, it's my fault. Third question is, have they been trained repetitively and I know they're successful at completing this SOP in various situations? No, okay, then it's my fault. Have they done it? Do we have the SOP? Once you got all that figured out, then it's just, did they follow the SOP? Because we have it built out where no one should make a mistake if they've done what we told them to do, because we figured out every element. So that means they're not following it. So, right, do they not get trained enough or do they just defy it? And when you actually have an outline, it's easier to highlight your problem people that do whatever they want. When you don't have these things defined, they can fall through the loopholes of whatever non-structure you have. But when you have this defined, it's like, then the problem, it's your fault when you have someone who's not following SOPs and you keep them around. When you've defined the outline and they mess it up, why is it still your fault? Because you kept them around. If you built your stuff enough, there should be no mistakes. Now they're just someone with an attitude who thinks they know better, who are milking your customers, who are waiting to open their own shop down the road, or whatever their goal is. They haven't told you, but they didn't share it, but you find out that's what they did after they left. Some people come in with that intention. And like, identify them early enough, get them the hell out, and start putting your energy towards the ones that actually want to stay in your network because they don't want that life of running their own stuff, versus the people who are in it to tell you how you should do it, very change everything and possibly poach your people when they leave because they've notified they whatever scenario there is that we've all seen over and again as people in this industry. But that's where I love that it's always your fault concept. It starts with it forces you to create a plan, an SOP, and then it forces you to create training and accountability. And it forces you to someone to be on top of it if you're not going to. And then it forces you to fire people that need to be fired, if or reduce roles or whatever you can, because there's always family dynamics and why you can't fire someone's wife or your owner's son. You just got to find a spot for them. It's like, okay, well, define it enough where they can't damage your business so much. Put them somewhere where they can't mess up if they're gonna do what they want anyways.
Give them a different seat on the bus.
Something.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's funny because like we get into these conversations and it sounds like a lot of philosophy, you know. I guess there is that aspect of it, but man, this is stuff that like actually works, you know. And if you can like, the truth is like you can hire somebody for an hourly wage, and you're basically renting their presence, right? It's like you're paying them to be there in a spot doing something at a given time, you know. But you can never buy somebody's like heart, you know. You can only win it, you know. And you're never going to get the best that a person can bring to the organization for just money. There has to be something more substantial that they're getting out of it, you know. Maslow's, you know, hierarchy of needs, right? I mean, there has to be something like deeper, more like, meaningful than just cash, to get a person to really give their best, you know. And that's what you want. You want a team of people where, you know, they're all just like in love with like being there. I mean, it sounds crazy, but you know, people accomplish this, and they build great companies by doing it. And that idea of like always be hiring, you know, it's like, man, you know, you don't always have the resources to do it, but you know, you get the chance to hire the right person. It really doesn't matter whether you've got a job description for them or not. Just want to get them on the bus, you know, get that person, you know. There's a lady who applied for the job, you know, the assistant position, and got a resume, set up a call with her on Zoom. We had a call, and we talked for quite a, you know, probably a half an hour or something. And it was obvious, like, this woman was like way overqualified. I mean, I don't know why I didn't know why she was applying, you know, for this job. Because I could tell not by the questions she was asking and some comments that she was making, and she really didn't say that much about herself or her past. But I could tell, like, this is a person who has, you know, been a big part in growing a company before. And you know, we're like right by Silicon Valley. You know, we're like 30 miles from Silicon Valley. You know, so it's like there are a lot of people in this area. There are a lot of startups, even in my town. In my county, there are a lot of like major like startups, and I just knew that like she was one of these people, and I knew she wasn't right for the job just because, you know, her skills would be wasted, and it wasn't the right fit. But I did have a second call with her anyway, you know, and just told her, hey, you know, it's like, yeah, you didn't get, you know, we gave the position to somebody else, but like, would you be willing, you know, just to have, you know, to talk? And we had like another hour long conversation, you know, and she just like, she loves the industry, and wants to be involved in it. And yeah, I got her to talk more about her past. And yeah, it turns out that she has been a big player. I just knew it. I just feel it. And we're trying to figure out a way, to work together, so that I can get some of her, her talents, at work and in my organization. And I think we're going to be able to work something out. She's just like, because it's that, it appeals to her on like a human level. I think she's got enough money. You know what I mean? I think she made plenty of money. I don't think she really needs to work or anything. But she's wired like this. She wants to work. She wants to be a part of like growing, stuff. And there are people out there like that. It's just like if they like you, they'll come to work for you and they'll give you their best. And there'll be rewards. There'll be financial rewards or whatever kind of rewards people are looking for. That's not a problem. I mean, that'll just happen if you get the right people together.
That's what I did for that glass company. There was no financial ROI, financial return. I didn't even cash my paycheck for months at a time. They had to like pull me aside and say, "Hey, can you not cash them all at once? Because you might not be able to like cash. You're gonna hit our stuff. Because why haven't you been cashing your checks?" I was like, I don't need. Told you I wasn't doing this for money. Like I'm here for. I got that. Like I'm here to help y'all. Because why is Troy taking an hour to delete emails every morning? Like why are y'all are doing so outdated stuff? Like y'all still have the same paper stacks and three metal towers rotating inside, and Chris is still losing measurements and y'all are still taking 2 days to get a quote back to people. And you're like, we don't have to pay for all these fancy apps. We can build some super simple stuff. That's where me having someone that cared about them came in to just help on the side. They just managed to suck me in and I never left. And I ended up selling my actual agency where money really was, where I was dealing with actual high value clients, where closing one deal for them paid for the year of what a glass company wants to pay me for their stuff because real estate and financial advisors and the ROI for landing one of those customers is a different ballgame. But I just couldn't visit my local glass shop where I loved my friends at Ames Glass and Uncle Troy, who was there, still there from 20 years ago, and he helped me when I was a kid, first job, and the nephew coming back, their generation. They just had a sweet scenario and an uncle that was checked out and let us do this weird stuff, these ideas without so much friction and you're not going to do that. We were able to, after a few years there, like implement all the stuff that normally a lot of these shops can't, a lot of y'all can't without upheaving stuff and getting pressure from the top. But in this case, we were the top. So all we had to do was build it and not break it and then figure it out as we went. And we got to try ideas that were new and crazy. But as we figured them out, man, we were able to really scale efficiency and update all the systems and all that. But finding an accountant, an old business person, someone that knows about all this is great. This person that came in, this VA that I have, knows all about system implementation, implemented this ticket request system, and has already built a way for me to get requests for projects so much easier, get people on top of it, and hand it off to people that know how to do it. And all I got to do is review the work. And I would have taken months to build out the structure for this. And they just came in knowing how to do it, seeing I had the problem, and building the solution for me. So it's like amazing what you can do when you reach out to try to ask for help from different people.
Wow. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. It takes a little getting used to and a little bit of, um, change, mindset shifting and stuff, but it's a different world, and there's different opportunities, than it was back in the, I don't know, 1920s or whatever. And like Henry Ford was putting together like assembly lines, and I mean, it's funny how much of business still runs like that, and how many people are still trying to do that. Just old fashioned, not really systems, but the mindset, really, I guess, of like just
You would probably have a panic attack, Rob, if you came to our place. and saw how old the stuff was and the systems and the metal trays and shit like that,
I'd feel
you
at
would have a
home.
you would have a heart attack.
I feel right at home at Ames Glass. They don't exist anymore, so I can name them and call them out. They, yeah,
I
it
think they're
was.
not metal. We have some metal and some plastic trays, but it's all there.
It's great. Yeah, we one by one we implemented app by app and figured out the problems and solutions and variations and make it work to try to how do we go digital? And then with the non-digital world, with our non-digital team, with people that doesn't want to use new stuff and figure out new stuff, like all that friction that exists in all y'all shops, it's like it's home to me now because I'm so used to it. Had to convince my own people first before I started just figuring out, okay, we love the romanticism of the horse and
Mhm.
but when you see the car going along, you just got to convert. And you love the romanticism of the plane, but when you see the this AI stuff, the drones, you're like, I'm never going to use that. But once a competitor, like different things are happening around us that we want to keep doing things our way, but there's a way to include it. Keep the romantic side. People still want custom leather bag that they'll pay 3 times as much for. People still want to walk into a barber that'll shave and do their process. But some people also want a mobile groomer. Some people want to figure out their quote online, book you, book the appointment, don't care to talk that they're talking to an AI. They want everything. They don't care if they go through a whole AI process. And if you get close 20 customers like that a year for $100 a month in cost, like it just makes sense. The world's changing, and that's the little technology shifts. It's like, nah, I don't need that. But once enough people around you are doing it and they're getting the benefit of every customer you close and goes through your process costs you hours and man hours. If you just provide, don't close the lanes you have now, provide 3 more lanes for people to get into for very low cost. And if they happen to use them because that's the way the world's going, then you just landed some deals for pennies on the dollar. That's why I love this tech stuff. It's not all the fear and all the other stuff. Understand totally. I'm in it every day, trying to learn how to protect ourselves, but still use the Terminators. But but don't not use it. Don't sleep on this stuff, guys. It's coming.
And it's not a like all or nothing either or black or white thing either, man. It's like, you can still have analog stuff. And it's like there's times like I print some things up on paper, you know. It's like there are some things that I just like to be tactile, you know. There are certain books that, like I want to read, paper, but mostly I listen to audiobooks, you know. So it's like, so you can design your own kind of hybrid, system of like, digital, analog, together, right? Just like you say, I mean, some people, they want that, physical whatever, but
What
you
does
don't.
like a limited implementation of technology look like, when you're just starting off?
It's just one more way, one more widget on your website, or one more variation when people come in. It's the AI when they call you. Maybe you don't want them to answer during hours. We want to say humans answer ours. Okay, then just maybe just the calls you might miss. Instead of a voicemail picking up, have it go to an AI agent that says, "Sorry, we're busy," and tell me what you need, and I'll get back to you. Or if the AI will know it's a brand new customer or an existing customer. Thanks for calling, John. Everyone's busy right now. Leave a message. I'll get right back to him. I'm an AI agent. But if you are a new customer, if you can give me measurements, I can give the data to the team fast and you'll get a faster quote. Would you like to give me your address, your project size? You said shower, so I know I need to know which of our things. Here's a link to a website I can send you so you can tell me which product and confirm I'm in the right lane of a 90 or an inline or a mirror or a gym panel versus a vanity. Like you can walk through the human steps. An assistant that doesn't know anything about your glass industry, the AI can walk through those same communication steps if the person wants to. And that's where it's like you don't turn off anything you have. You just provide one more option that someone can go through. You provide a form on your website that isn't just name, number, email. It allows them to pick the product, the sizes manually if they don't want to. They want to sit there and fill out a form for 30 minutes because that's what they do when they're sitting in the bathroom or whatever. They have their blueprint from someone else and they're like, let me go to this site. No, I have all the sizes I need. Let me just put this guy's quote in. see what they're talking about. Because this guy I don't know, or doesn't have reviews, or came high, or disrespected us, or just don't like them, whatever. But if you have the possibility for them to get a quote on your site, or at least submit something because you promise to get back to them fast, they can give you all the data, and then you wake up to a form filled with all that data filled in. Why not? A lot of people would say, I don't want to cause that friction. Well, you didn't close down the speed lane. You didn't close down any travel, any ways that people already get to you. All I'm saying is add more lanes and give them the option, and find a nice way for them to be presented with it when they communicate with you via email, text already, and have those initial things automated that say, by the way, did you want an update on your project? Did you want to tell us whatever? And then when that conversation's done, those AIs can send you that summary of what they said after hours, or what they said on that voicemail, or what they said on that missed call. So it tells you how important it is to get back to them, puts it in the right bucket. Like it is just simple what human assistants would do, but just building out these layers and these AI commands is where everyone's at right now.
Would you suggest like how would you suggest identifying the lane that you need to open up the most, you know? Like how do you identify, like there's lots of different lanes you can open up for people to drive down, but what kind of effort and research would you put into identifying the specific one, whether it's giving you the most ROI, or the one that's relieving the most stress from you, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like what kind
Tracking.
of effort would you put
Tracking,
into that?
like I know I need to go to the gym. I know I'm healthy, but I can be healthier. How do I know what to work on? I'll just go in and do it myself and work on what feels right. But if I go to an expert, or if I go to someone that can give me data, they first thing they would do is run my measurements, run my biometrics, my body fat, my cholesterol. They'll tell me, here's what you actually need to be working on. Here's the problem you actually need to be addressing right now. And that's where your data will tell you that. If you have the tracking in the very beginning that tracks your missed calls, your how many calls a day do you get? Where do they come from? Where's your lead sources? Are they homeowners or contractors? Are they referrals? Are they this? Is it 90% showers or 90% mirrors? And I just thought it was showers. Did those 3 contract jobs pay for our whole year? And I just think we're killing it. And our payroll of that other product is actually just breaking even. So why am I having that headache? The data will tell you. Besides that, you're just making emotional decisions. But when you could just implement some kind of tracking more and more at the front end, it tells you your measurement of all your data in the beginning and in your process, what you're converting. Then you'll know, are people coming from email, from this source, from that source? If I run ads, what's my conversion rate? What's my, all these things that tell you how much does it cost to get a customer from this lane, from this lane, from this lane? And as I spend more money, does it cost more or less? And when I hit that sweet spot, what other lanes can I have? And have I even discovered lanes where it's half the cost to acquire a customer? If this trade show lane, we spend 2,000 and we track that in the next 3 months, we make 50,000. Damn, there's no Google ad that gave us that ROI. But if we track it and we see 0 came, but the Google ads are more like that, you don't know. If not, you're just making emotional decisions. And when it feels busier, you think it's from one thing or the other, but it could be completely seasonal or completely from a source that you don't know and haven't tracked. That's where I think like have that locked down, because everything else is just my like opinion and based on nothing.
Love it. Yeah. Yeah. Good advice. I think that's it. You got to figure out where you're at, right? It's like a map really is useless if you don't know where you're located on it. No matter how detailed the map, no matter how current it is, if you don't know where you are on it, it's useless. So that's the first thing to figure out is like, where am I at, And then you can, start, strategically figuring out, where you want to get to and how, how many right turns you need to make to get there. Awesome. Hey, that was some good stuff, man. I'm glad I came. I feel like I learned something.
Get where the bee?
Yeah.
Dinner time.
It's dinner time. Hope you guys have a great evening and the rest of your week.
Yep.
I plan to.
See you next week.
See you next Thursday, everybody. Bye now.
Yeah.
Good night.